Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of the Roy's Boys podcast, powered by Carolina Electrical Services. For all your electrical needs, call 704-320-7357, and Jacob will take care of all of those. Josh and Anthony here with you as always, but we're joined by WFNZ Charlotte legend Travis T-Bone Hancock. Boney, how's it going today?
I'm sorry, did you say legend?
Yes.
Did you say legend? Were you paid a substantial sum to say that? Because I do appreciate it, but I think you've got my bio wrong there.
It wasn't enough. Just give me an internship in 6 months and we'll call it even.
Oh, I see how it is. I see how it is. Anthony's there with you, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I want you guys to know Anthony got voted the 11th best intern in Hancock history. So congratulations, Anthony. You did a tremendous job for us.
Thank you. I don't know whether I should be honored or angry at this, so I'm just gonna sit here for a moment and process this over. But thanks, Boney.
Well, there's been 13 of them, and I was 12, so you passed me along the way.
Good Lord.
Oh, there we go. Hey, you're still there though, so that's a pretty high standard. I think I'm heading in the right direction.
I'm still there as of 5 p.m. with this interview. We'll see about tomorrow. I'm always day to day, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, man.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into the Duke-Carolina game that happened on Saturday, a 79-70 Carolina victory. I know it was hard for you watching Duke get swept for the first time in 10 years. Just want your initial thoughts on the game and what it meant for Carolina and then what it meant for your Blue Devils.
Well, first of all, I wasn't shocked that Duke got beat. I knew that without, this is not an excuse, but going into the game without Zion, my confidence level, as you could imagine, was not very high. So I'm not shocked they lost, and UNC is so good in those situations with a championship on the line and a chance to clinch something. I think Roy, 8-0 or 9-0 in those scenarios, whatever it is now. They're amazing. And plus, it's senior night at Chapel Hill. And for you guys, that means a lot, because you weren't just honoring random guys that Roy puts in to start the game and take out. You honored Luke May, you honored Cam Johnson, you honored Kenny Williams, you honored legitimate contributors. So the emotion was there. I didn't feel good about the game going into it. I actually felt good about Duke until about the 2-minute mark of the first half. I got worried they kept Barrett in with 2 fouls. He's got a propensity to foul with the arm. Kenny Williams is great at drawing charges. Not sure how Kenny Williams is not all ACC defense, by the way. That's not a ref play. That is an honest foul on R.J. Barrett. And from that moment on, once R.J. Barrett got 3 fouls, they could attack him on defense. His offense had to change. I think that third foul on R.J. Barrett gave momentum back to Carolina and changed the complexion of the basketball game.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And, one of the things that Carolina did great in both games, it seemed like, was force you guys to shoot the outside shot. From your perspective, why is Duke struggling with shooting the outside shot? And is that something that, you could see Carolina maybe focusing on if they meet again on Friday?
Well, they're just missing that consistent outside guy. For a little bit, it looked like it might be Alex O'Connell. It was Jack White to start the year before he went 0 for 2019 for a while. So, there are guys in there that can shoot. I don't know what the point of Joey Baker is this year to pull the red shirt and then not use him. I can't rip the kid because he plays like 30 seconds and he's out. My problem with Coach K this year has been this. Not to make this about Duke, but you asked about Duke shooting. When guys like O'Connell and Baker, you have to let them get into a rhythm and shoot the basketball. You can't let them get one shot up and take them out. Like O'Connell against Syracuse got shots up, and he got in the rhythm. Guys are rhythm shooters. So when you pull a kid after one shot, how's he going to get better? Let the guys – I'm not saying you go R.J. Barrett fire up 27. I just need to let the guys shoot 4 or 5 times. O'Connell's got a good percentage for the most part, but he only shoots it like 2 or 3 times. You've got to let the shooters shoot, and that's been a problem I've had with Coach K this year. You got to if you want shooting, you got to live with them missing something.
Yeah, you're definitely right with the whole Joey Baker thing. Feel bad for him to lose a red shirt to take. Has he even taken a shot yet in his 3 games he's appeared in?
I think he's like 0 for 2, 0 for 3. Now, the flip side of that is at least going into next year, you've got some experience as opposed to not playing at all. And plus, look, with Duke, can Duke look 5 years down the road and project a guy to still be on the roster? That's just not how they're built. So I got it at the time. I understood it, but I understood it that he was going to play. Now I don't quite. Now I'm as lost as anybody else. I don't quite get that one.
Right. One of the stats that kind of jumped out to me that was surprising was there was an even rebounding margin, 48-48, and the Duke actually had more offensive rebounds. What were your thoughts on that, considering without Zion in the first game, we kind of beat you up in that department, and in the second game, y'all seemed to handle the rebounding area without him a lot better and keep Carolina off the glass. Because before Boston, the Boston College game, it was 60-35. I know it's a different talent level, but still.
Yeah, not only without Zion, but without Bolden in there for the game. I mean, to have the rebounding margin be even, that's a credit to Delorier and Jack White, who, they are what they are. They're not pro NBA players. They're the guys that you guys can win with a lot of times. But your guys are just, your seniors and your veterans are just better. Our guys are sort of the role guys like Delorier and Jack White. I thought those guys played so hard. I was proud of the way Delorier played, but he could be frustrating at times. But he's really stepped up lately, doing the little things. Yeah, to rebound even with Carolina and not win the game, it's frustrating. But I have a stat for you guys that I saw right before we started this, and you may be aware. I asked on the air today, and I didn't know you could actually find the stat, but someone found it for me. Carolina this year, as you're aware, is so good that when plays break down, they seem to capitalize. When there's a hustle play, a tap out, their percentage of hitting the next shot I thought was going to be astronomical. And the guy tweeted me today that on second chance threes this year off of broken plays, Carolina's 23 for 46.
Goodness.
Wow.
50% on those plays. Kenny Williams is 8 for 12 on those second. He's 8 for 12 on those second chance threes. So Carolina's living off not only their great offensive rebounding, but they're kicking it back out and they're hitting the shot. So 50% on broken plays, and I think that is why you guys are so good as well. I mean, but it's frustrating for the defense too to get a stop or get a rebound or do something, and then all of a sudden the ball kicks back out. Sometimes it's by happenstance. Sometimes the ball just gets knocked to a guy. But 50% on those is remarkable.
Well, one of the things that I think everybody's got to realize with this Carolina team is that this was not the team that we saw early in the year. I mean, you remember, we were talking about it in the studio, when I was still with you guys, and this was just a team that you knew had the talent, but really wasn't playing up to the talent. What do you think changed with this team, and why are they playing at the level that they're playing at right now? Is it just coaching with Roy Williams, or are the guys, have they elevated their game?
I think it's a combination of both. I think Roy's teams naturally get better as the year goes on. They're never, you guys are always good, but it's never what UNC is never in November and December what they're going to be in March and oftentimes April. I just think it's just the veterans on the team. I think you guys are hard to beat. But all three of the main guys, and I say main guys, that's not a disrespect to Kenny Williams, who had 18 the other day, but when Kobe White and Cam Johnson and Luke May are, it's almost, this seems kind of crazy. I'm not saying you guys are this, but it's almost like a Golden State Warriors type thing where it's hard to stop because you have to hope that maybe two of your guys are off. Mm-hmm. If two of your guys are off and it's all on Luke May or it's all on Cam or it's all, that changes stuff. Well, all three of your guys are on, but all three guys are playing at a high level. You guys are hard to beat. So if you guys were to go down in March, I think it would have to be two of your guys not having their normal game. Kobe White has a bad game, or Luke May, who does have off games sometimes, has an off game. I think Cam Johnson is the most consistent one of them all, but you guys are so hard to beat when all three guys are on.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So today, on the eve of the beginning of the ACC tournament, the all-ACC teams were announced, and you mentioned the snub that Kenny Williams didn't make an all-defensive team. There was some controversy with Zion getting the player of the year, and then Roy Williams not getting the coach of the year. I just wanted your initial thoughts to what was released from the media today.
Well, I actually went against Zion, against Mac, my co-host, last week, because I thought R.J. Barrett deserved player of the year just based off of Zion's missed 6.5 games. Because don't forget, he also missed half of the Florida State game as well. So my whole thing was, when did it get to a point where he's just, look, it's not about Zion, the player. We all know what he is. It was just about time served, basically. R.J. Barrett has been there carrying things. So I actually thought R.J. Barrett deserved the award. Coach of the year, I was a little surprised. I thought the job that Buzz Williams did this year, because we know there's a lot of talk about Zion, but Justin Robinson's out as well. And that is basically like their Zion in terms of like impact.
Right.
So for Buzz Williams to still have the year that he had is remarkable. We talked about it last week. I brought up Coach K last week as Coach of the Year, and I got run out of the studio. Anyways, That was, in hindsight, that was a mistake on my part. It sounded good in my head. But Tony Bennett, I mean, this is a thing I have a problem with Coach of the Year awards in all sports because it never always goes to like who did like the best coach of the year, the best coaching of the best team doesn't always get the award because like Bill Belichick doesn't get it all the time. Phil Jackson had one. I mean, Phil Jackson won one Coach of the Year award. So it always goes to like who exceeded expectations. So yes, I think Roy definitely deserved more votes than that, but I can't argue with Tony Bennett either. And it's not an achievement that goes year to year, but they're 17-1 in ACC road games the last 2 years. So it's hard for me to sit here and really rip Tony Bennett getting the award. I think Roy deserved it. I think that Tony Bennett deserved it. I think Buzz Williams deserved it. So it's hard for me to really argue with it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And one of the things that I would say is more consistency would be the thing. Because remember, a couple years ago, Josh Pashner won the award, and that was pretty much just based on a great coaching job with a team that wasn't really expected to be that great. Tony Bennett wins the award this year, and it's because I guess he just really had the best overall team. So I see what you're saying. A little more consistency would be nice. I mean, as you know,
like Max says, Virginia can fool people. Like Mac was tweeting about today, like they're still talented. Like let's not act like Virginia's rolling out there a bunch of little people and a bunch of radio producers. Like Kyle Gosman, All-American, Ty Jerome's an NBA player. Like, look, are they at the level of maybe the Duke and Carolina players in terms of hype and well, no, of course not. But let's not act like these guys are scrubs here either. You know what I mean? That kind of gets lost in their style, I think, sometimes.
Well, I mean, I saw a tweet earlier today as well that, they showed the recruiting rankings of the starting lineups, and Virginia's actually was ranked ahead of Carolina if you look at each guy and where they were ranked in their certain class. So, I mean, yeah, it's, of course, I totally agree with what Max says. I think it does fool people just a little bit. But, Virginia's a great team, and they're going to be one of the teams that's going to, I mean, they're probably the favorite going into this weekend. And you're going to get to watch them in person more than likely, barring something unbelievable with Mac at your side. So good luck with that. But you'll get to see them potentially in the semifinals, and they got to be one of the favorites. But, with going into this, I really feel like the top three in the ACC tournament, they're not really that far apart from each other. Is that kind of the feeling that you have going into this, that Virginia, Carolina, and Duke are really pretty close, and it wouldn't shock you if any of those three came away with the ACC tournament title?
Yeah, no doubt. That's also counting Zion on Duke. I mean, Duke without Zion, as we've seen, is not the same. But if you count Zion in there, and the thing about him is, we don't know either way what's going to happen with him. Like, you could sit here and say he's out of shape, he's not ready to go. That's all valid points. Mm-hmm. But he's also a guy that does some remarkable things that we've never seen before. So you could also say, how do we know what exactly that dude's going to be like? We don't know. Duke's an unknown. Carolina's a known. We know what Carolina is. Mm-hmm. We know what Virginia is. I think Virginia wins the ACC tournament because I just think their pace is it's good for this tournament. Like, they can go day to day to day, and I know that Carolina beat them a couple years ago in the finals, but like their legs are often saved by their pace. Carolina's legs, if Carolina do get involved in one of their normal games on a Saturday or Friday, and they got to turn around and play Virginia on Saturday, that's tough, isn't it? Like, that's tough. For Carolina to play their style Thursday, play their style Friday in that emotional rivalry game, and then go play Virginia on Saturday, that's tough for Duke and Carolina. So, and plus Duke's shooting. Can Duke shoot it well enough for 3 days in a row to win this thing? I think it's Virginia. And by the way, in Roy's 3 national championship years, Carolina lost in the semifinals of the ACC tournament all 3 years. So they have not won an ACC championship and an NCAA championship with Roy.
Rooting for a loss.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I put that out the other day. It was
and also, how about this? How about this one, guys? This seems kind of crazy to me. I looked it up today. You know that only 3 times since 1992 has the ACC tournament champion won the NCAA tournament.
Wow. That is that.
It was 92 Duke, 01 Duke, and 2010 Duke.
Yeah.
That's it. That's not Duke hype there. I'm just saying that I was thinking in my head, look, Virginia won it last year. They went out to UMBC. Who was the year before? Who won it the year before 2016? Oh, that was Duke. Yeah, Duke won it. Excuse me, 2017. Duke won 4 in 4 days. They were out to South Carolina. UNC won the title that year. So I started thinking in my head, what does this tournament exactly mean for the NCAA tournament? And it turns out it doesn't mean a whole lot, really, does it?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Bo, just thank you for joining us and bringing some good quality insight on Carolina, on Duke, and Virginia. We trust your opinion, and we know you're not a biased sports broadcaster, so thank you for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, take care, Bo.